Good afternoon, my lovely and beautiful audience. I have a bug walking on my sleeve, but it's so tiny. You can barely see it. Try to get closer so you can see it. There it is. And it just jumped away. I have no idea what that was. Anyways, hello my lovely and beautiful audience. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for liking and subscribing and for your comments. So I have another Pride and Prejudice update. So, I'm past the point where Elizabeth Bennet meets Mr. Darcy again in Pemberley, and the famous letter from Jane telling her that Lydia Bennet, her sister, has gone off and run away with Wickham, and they're not sure of Wickham's intentions as to whether he's going to marry her, which Elizabeth is in the negative. She says no, he's not going to do that. He's just, why would he do that? Because Lydia has no money, no fortune, and blames her parents for not taking care of Lydia. That all she ever thought about was officers, and flirtations and love have been in her head for the past couple of summers, so she's not really well-developed young woman. She's more frivolous and carefree and doesn't care about what other people are telling her. So she won't take advice. And she runs off with Wickham. She ruins her reputation. She marries a man who doesn't love her, all for the sake of hushing up their story, because at that point in time it was scandalous for a young man and a young woman to spend time alone together, especially because they were at an inn together alone. And Elizabeth is shocked and confused and overwhelmed by her sister's mistake, so much so that she can't even walk to find her aunt and uncle to explain the situation of what's happened, because Jane begs her to tell them what happened with her sister. And Mrs. Bennet can not exert herself and make sure that everything in the household is running smoothly. She's upstairs in her room crying about what happened with Lydia. And Mr. Bennet finally sees that he needs to go to London to figure out what happened, because Colonel Foster comes and tells them that Wickham and Lydia didn't go off to Scotland like they said they were going to, but rather they must be in London somewhere. And that we know from Mr. Darcy's knowledge of Wickham, that Mr. Wickham, this isn't the first time that he's been involved with a younger person. He wanted Georgiana Darcy and her fortune. She was only 16 years old. So he's definitely a fortune hunter and not a good man at all. A gambler and a liar. So it makes me wonder, with Jane Austen, did she know of somebody that this happened to? Or was she just making up the details as she went along? Because it was pretty amazing, because I almost wonder that whether Mr. Darcy was going to propose again to Elizabeth Bennet when he came to the inn and he saw her so upset about the letter. And she kind of, in a roundabout way, blames Mr. Darcy for Wickham's bad conduct not being made public, but he didn't want a scandal involving his sister to be known, because she was so young and it wasn't her fault, although blame would have been placed on Georgiana for her mistake from being taken in by Wickham, but she told her brother that they wanted to elope rather than concealing the fact. And once they were found out, Mr. Wickham didn't want anything to do with them. So he left and disappeared. He was given a substantial amount of money and he wasted it all, and said that Mr. Darcy was at fault and wouldn't give him a living when he requested that he didn't want the living. To be a priest, which Mr. Darcy firmly says that he shouldn't have had any business in being a priest. So it's just amazing how she wraps things up, and Elizabeth and Darcy, you wonder if they're ever going to be happy, but Elizabeth isn't pining after Mr. Darcy. She isn't thinking about, oh, well, what if this happened or what if this happened. She's being independent. Jane Austen was a very independent woman, and I find that amazing because she's not relying on Darcy. She is her own person, so she doesn't get consumed by a relationship and think that Mr. Darcy is all there is, and that's it. She's not so hung up on him that she can't function. So, I don't know, I just find the book amazing, and I can't wait to reach the end. Every time I've been taking it slower because I don't want it to end because it's one of my favorites, but I just enjoyed it so much, and I hope with this recommendation that you will too. So thank you. Have a good day. Bye.